So we're going to do another accidentally vegan dish from Aldi's. This is their Chef's Cupboard 3-bean chili soup mix. They have 3 other varieties of soup, but none of them are accidentally vegan. As far as I can tell, there's no labeling on here that says vegan, plant-based, anything. No, not on the back either. But if you look on the ingredients, they will list milk and dairy. Just about all food packaging companies now will list if there's dairy, if there's eggs, if there's meat, if there's wheat or soy. So this one says contains soy. So as far as I can tell, it does not contain any animal products. All right, so the directions on this is like 7 cups of water, that's boiling, and then it says whisk in soup mix, this after you boil the water, obviously, and then 1 can of tomato paste. However, and then reduce heat to medium, simmer uncovered for 20 to 25 minutes, stirring occasionally. Okay, I'm not going to use this, and here's why. I got way more tomatoes than I thought I was getting in seasonal roots. This is like less than half of the tomatoes that I got. I think I got 6 tomatoes total, and then I already had a Roman tomato left over. And we have more tomatoes coming on Wednesday, potentially maybe even more on Friday. So I'm going to chop these up. We're going to leave these out. And instead of putting 7 cups of water in there, I put 6 because tomatoes contain a lot of water. But I'm not gonna make you watch me chop up tomatoes. It's food fun, yes. It's kind of boring. So we'll come back when the water's boiling and the tomatoes are all chopped. Here we are. We have water boiling, and we've got all the tomatoes, which turned out to be a little riper than I thought. I was worried they might not be ripe enough. So now we're just gonna open up the packet. If I recall correctly, I think this packet was either just under $3. Maybe just over. I will try and find out what the cost is. This is, I think, a fall and winter item. So, like, if you go during the spring or summer, you might not find these. Just like with the potato salad sometimes. I think I picked these all up. It might have been October, maybe November, because these tend to be featured during cookout season. So you might not be able to find them, but don't worry, because it always comes back. But the other soup mixes, they are not vegan. If I recall correctly, they've got like a loaded baked potato one, which is not vegan or vegetarian. They have a chicken noodle soup, not vegetarian. And then something else that I cannot remember right this minute. All right, so we've got the soup mix in there. We're going to stir in the tomatoes. When I was chopping these, I was thinking, this is kind of overkill with all these tomatoes. But a small can of tomato paste actually has a lot of tomatoes in it. It's just very concentrated. So you don't have a bunch of fresh tomatoes that are going to go bad if you don't use them. Obviously, use a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. And that's about it. We will come back later in about, we should probably set the timer. And it's boiling, so we should probably turn it down lower. Let's give it 23 minutes to start. Let's turn this to low. It said low. Is it low or medium? Medium. Okay. Come back when things get more. Timer is on. Yes. Timer's almost up. And this is getting thick. And I think what I'm going to do is have a taste test and then let it sit for about 45 minutes while I walk up to the grocery store. I got my swim today, but I probably should walk a little bit too. So I think the decision to use the chopped fresh tomatoes instead of tomato paste was a good one. It actually looks quite nice. In fact, yeah, looks better than in here. You know, are there green beans in there? There's actually quite a bit of vegetables. Let me dish up a little bit and show you. It's as far as I can tell, it's beans, 3 of them. I think black, pinto, and something else. And there appears to be some dehydrated vegetables in here. And some rice. Alright. And you know what I just realized? This isn't going to show up very well at all. Brown stew on brown bowl will not show up for the camera. We're going to decant this into something else. Alright. So this cooked for about 23 minutes from start to finish. I would rate this like very, very easy to make, even for beginning cooks. And as you can see, looks pretty okay. Let's give it a shot, see how it tastes. How much sodium in this? Wait a minute, it's too hot to taste. Sodium is less than the potato salad, definitely. So as mixed, it is 360 milligrams. That's for 1/3 cup dry mix, and it makes 1 cup prepared. So for 1 cup of the 3-bean accidentally vegan chili, it is 360 milligrams. Now they do say as prepared, it would be 530, but that's because a can of tomato paste, usually, unless you have like no added salt, canned tomatoes have a lot of salt in them. I don't know if it's for preservation purposes, or I want to get some fresh tomato here too, or just because if you give your average person something made with canned tomatoes that doesn't have any salt into it, they're gonna be like, I'm not sure what's wrong with that, but it doesn't taste right. If they're older, they'll go for the salt shaker. The flavor is very good. The pinto beans are perfectly cooked. Most of the other beans are okay too. I think I might just have gotten a hard one. Let me try the other black bean. Yeah, that's good. I would rate that. I'm definitely going to let this sit for a while though, while I go for a walk. So it's more like a soup than like a traditional like thick chili. It's more like a 3-bean chili soup, not stew. So if you're used to something you can like ladle over a baked potato, that might be problematic. But honestly, all you'd have to do, cook it for about 10 more minutes, and that should resolve that. But this is going to sit over the heat and let the last remaining few dried beans in there get a little more hydrated. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you like cooking content. I also do product reviews, travel sometimes. Mostly it's just food related content though. So if you like this sort of thing, think about subscribing. All right, and have a fantastic day. Okay, so if you're looking at all this and thinking, gosh, it looks like she's in the middle of cooking dinner, that would be correct. But that's not what I'm tasting right now. So this has had an hour and a half of being on exceptionally low heat just to stay warm. Hopefully this has hydrated the beans a little more. So this is like the secondary tasting. And it does not look that much different. We're going to give it a try. This is what it looks like. And this is the 3-bean chili from Aldi's Chef's Cupboard. And it is the only one out of the 4 soup mixes that is accidentally vegan. The other ones are chicken noodle, loaded potato, and there's something else that I can't remember. All right. So this was good before. Let's see how it tastes now. And I didn't use a can of tomato paste. Instead, who's still on? Yes. Instead, I used 1 Roma tomato and 2 beefsteak tomatoes that I got from Seasonal Roots because we have another Seasonal Roots coming on Wednesday. Today's Monday. And I was like, we're either going to have to eat these or throw them out. And I don't want to throw out organic, locally raised? No, locally grown tomatoes. Oh, that's quite good. I know what I'm having for dinner. I think I'm probably going to Aldi's tomorrow to stock up on these because for just under or just over $3, that's a very good deal. That's very tasty. In fact, I would give that. If I turn this off, I would give that. It makes. That's got to be at least 7 cups of soup, probably 8. Um, it makes a lot, and it's quite tasty. Frugal option, and like I said, that's gonna be my dinner. All right, so if you like this kind of content, I do produce unboxing usually once a week, sometimes 2. If we get seasonal roots as opposed to just Hungry Harvest for the week, I usually do between 3 and 5 product tastings a week. Usually stuff that I get from Hungry Harvest, but sometimes stuff I get from Aldi's that looks interesting and that I've never had before. And sometimes I do some travel content and just random stuff like that. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, think about hitting like and subscribe. But whether you do that or not, have a fantastic day.